Meditate on the Divine Supreme for the peace and happiness of the whole humanity. Om Sthapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Sthapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Avadara Varishtaya Ramakrishna Te Namah Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityormamritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been discussing some topics taken from the Gospel. Today's topic I am going to discuss: guard yourself from octopus. You know, we are all in this world. That means we are under the realm of Maya. That means we are in ignorance of the reality. We are ignorant of the truth. So, it all implies, the very fact you are born in this world implies you are under the veil of Maya. Maya is the word used in the Vedantic terminology. It veils the shining light of the Atman. Why we are not able to see the light of the Spirit, even though that light is within our heart? And that is the truth of truths. It is there. It is always there. Still we are not seeing it. That is because it is covered by the veiling power of Maya. That is the power of illusion that is covering the light of the Atman. Just as the sun, glorious sun, tremendous, the light of which nourishes the whole universe. Without sun, nobody can survive. Such great power, that sunlight, just it is covered by insignificant cloud. Very insignificant. But it has its power to cover the glorious light of the sun. But once that cloud is dispersed or driven away by some method, by blowing wind or by any other method, once that cloud is gone, you see the wonderful, beautiful light of the sun giving immense joy. Immense joy. You can experience that after passing through the winter season. People are aspiring for seeing sun, summer, spring. The first summer, the first spring, when they see the sun, great joy, inexpressible joy. The same is true with respect to our indwelling light. Once the ignorance is gone, you are in bliss. And when you experience that bliss, you are overwhelmed. So, you get into samadhi. That means total absorption. That means you don't want to get out of that experience at all. You don't want to come out of it. Because you don't feel the need of coming out of that experience. There is no need. Why should I go out? Suppose a man is in deep sleep. If a person goes and disturbs him, he is annoyed. Why did you disturb me? I was in deep sleep. I was enjoying the sleep. Why did you disturb me? Why did you disturb me? Many people, when they see their friends sleeping, they won't disturb. Let him sleep more. Because in sleep he is really enjoying the glory. When that is the case, what to speak of the Atman? When you are seeing the glory of Atman in your heart, it's tremendous. You don't want to come out of it. That's why when Swami Vivekananda was asked by Sri Ramakrishna, what's your objective in life? What do you want to do? He said, I want to be in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. That means his mind was totally set for that. His mind was not hankering for anything. He just had the glimpse of the Samadhi, and that was enough for him. And he didn't want to slip that experience, and he wanted to be always in that blissful state. So he prayed for Nirvikalpa Samadhi. But then Sri Ramakrishna said, well, you are really fortunate and you are really great because you know the value of that Nirvikalpa Samadhi. But since you have come here for a special mission of spreading the message of Vedanta to the whole universe, let the whole universe be shared. Give that joy to everyone. Enjoying yourself is one thing. There's nothing special about it. You enjoy yourself. What's speciality? But if you share that joy with others, it is really special. Really special. Sharing that joy with your own country is not considered special. If you share that joy with other countries, it is special. So like that. So that concept, you are the whole human race. I am the part and parcel of the whole human race. And the person who is spiritually illumined, he feels tremendous attraction towards the humanity in order to share that glory of Atman. So the Upanishads, the cream of Vedas, they declare that glory is in everyone's heart. It is there in your heart. But still you are suffering. It is just like sitting by the side of drinking water lake and feeling thirsty. You are just by the side of the lake, drink the water. But you are not aware of it. Something is obstructing. Something is obstructing you drinking the water, even though it is very near you. In the same way, though the Atman is shining most wonderfully in our heart, still on account of some hindrance, on account of something, we are not able to see that. And that is the subject what I am going to discuss. Why we are not able to see that? Because we are not guarding ourselves properly against all sorts of obstacles coming on our way. Anyway, all this comes into importance when you aspire for the realization of the truth. If you think, oh, I don't need any truth, what is truth? I am satisfied with this world. I am enjoying good food. I am enjoying movie. I am seeing TV. I am seeing all sorts of things. I am enjoying myself immensely. So what do I need about God and other things? Time has not come for me. And he is happy over that. He is happy that time has not come because he wants to enjoy. That means as long as the desire to enjoy the pleasures of the world, you can't get into the glory of Atman. The very fact of entertaining desire to enjoy the world means you are under the veil of Maya. That is illusion. And Sri Ramakrishna has said very clearly in the Gospel, this Atman in every one is bound by 8 fetters. 8 fetters, not 1 or 2, not 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's quite a big number. So the ignorant man is bound by these 8 fetters. So you find he is always suffering. In spite of all the pleasures of this world, he is not happy, he is not peaceful, he is restless, he is with tension. He passes different states of mind. Sometimes he is dejected, this way, that way. So, oscillating. He feels life is no more easy. He feels discomfort. In spite of all modern comforts, he feels discomfort because he has not realized the truth. So, Sri Ramakrishna explains the souls who are tied to the world by the fetters of lust and gold, desire. The mind is directed towards getting wealth. Mind is diverted towards enjoyment. So, when the mind is hooked up there, he is bound hand and foot. Thinking that lust and gold will make him happy, give him security, he doesn't realize that it will lead him to annihilation. Even though after some time he dies and is born again, he is in the same problem. Unless a person realizes the truth, he will be constantly under the friction of pain and pleasure, suffering in a way. A man who is thus bound to the world, such a man is about to die. His wife asks, well, any moment you are about to go, but what have you done for me? Again, such is his attachment to the things of the world that when he sees the lamp burning brightly, he says, dim the light. Too much of oil is being used. And he is on his deathbed. He is not thinking of the Divine Supreme, but he is thinking of these ephemeral things of the world. So, what Sri Ramakrishna says, the bound souls never think of God. If they get any leisure, what do? They indulge in idle gossip and foolish talk, or they engage in fruitless work. We have seen many times published in the newspapers that how people started arguing, though it started in a funny way, finally it ended up in violence, shooting, for trivial things, killing. That's the way how the world acts upon. If you ask one of them the reason, he answers, oh, I can't keep still, so I am making a hedge. When time hangs heavy on his hands, he perhaps starts playing cards. Mind doesn't go to think about the divine. He doesn't think spiritual ideas. So these fetters, as long as these fetters are there, one cannot expect freedom, and so he will be suffering. But what's the way? These fetters fall off in a moment by the grace of God. By the grace of God. Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Mama Maya Duratyaya. It's very difficult to cross this Maya, this veiling power. But Lord Krishna himself says, Mat prasadat tarishyasi Maya metam tarantite. By my grace, one is able to cross over this Maya. And Sri Ramakrishna explains it. Do you know what it is like? Suppose a room has been kept dark 1,000 years. The moment a man brings a light into it, the darkness vanishes. Not little by little. Haven't you seen the magician's feet? He takes a string with many knots and ties one end to something and keeping the other in his hand. Then he shakes the string once or twice and immediately all the knots come undone. But another man cannot untie the knots however he may try. All the knots of ignorance come undone in the twinkling of an eye through the grace of the Guru. Once you get Guru's grace, everything simply vanishes. There are 8 fetters that bind a person in the world. On attaining God, one gets rid of all fetters. So, they are like octopus spreading its tentacles. Once you are caught by octopus, it's very difficult to get away from it. These 8 fetters are like that. They are as dangerous as octopus. You have to guard yourself properly. So one cannot succeed in spiritual life as long as he is under the grip of these fetters. As long as he is controlled by these fetters, as long as he is roped by these, he can't make any progress in spiritual life. So he should know what are these, so that he can take steps, so that he can guard himself, so that he is not caught by the octopus. It has been described, Sri Ramakrishna has said, 8 fetters. One is lajja, the Sanskrit word, meaning shame. Then second, hatred. Third, fear. Fourth, caste. Fifth, lineage. Sixth, conduct. Seventh, grief. And last, disgust. All these have got Sanskrit terms. I don't want to tell those words because you will not understand them. Anyway, it is to make you aware of these beautiful words. One is lajja, another is grana, bhaya, jati, kula, shila, shoka, jugupsa. So these are the 8 fetters, ashtapashas, noose. They are 8 in numbers, not 1 or 2. And a human being is bound by these. You know, the animal is bound by the rope. I see many times while walking along the lake shore, most of the people, they bring their dogs and they always hold the rope. It is tied to the neck of the dog. The animals are tied by a rope. In the same way, we human beings are tied by these ropes: lajja, grana, bhaya, jati, kula, and so on. So, because of these fetters, we behave like pashu. That is animal. Sometimes we behave worse than animal. Even animals are far better. We are just hopeless. So, very important factor is that, first of all, you must realize that you have been chained by these fetters. And then a strong urge must come in your heart. I must get out of this prison. I must cut off these bonds. How to do it? If he is very earnest and sincere in his aspiration, then the point would be he seeks the help of the Guru, the teacher, the spiritual master, who can guide him in the right path, who can help him to cut off these bonds. Then only the aspirant could snap these fetters. When he snapped these fetters, when these fetters are snapped, when this is done, then Pashu becomes Shiva. Jiva becomes Shiva. The embodied soul is no more embodied. It is a free soul, emanating peace and joy. So, now we have understood how we are all under the great influence of the Maya, and so how we are suffering in so many million ways. So Sri Ramakrishna has pointed out, if you are aspiring for spiritual path, be aware of these 8 fetters. One is, as I said, shame, a sense of shame. Sense of shame. It acts in different ways. It acts in different ways. High position, highly respected from the people. Suppose such a man comes to the chapel. You can observe him, how he behaves. Of course, he tries to show his humbleness, though he is proud of his position, and he thinks all people are gathering and seeing him, gazing at him, what he does, etc. He just he feels a kind of shame to kneel down. Probably he may or may not bend his even head a little bit. And he may give afterwards philosophical explanation. I did it mentally. Why don't you kneel down? Put your head on the floor. Smash your head on the floor. Lie flat. Kill your ego there. What's your position? It's all because of God's grace you got it, not because of yourself. So, that high position, that pride, I'm a big official, I'm a big man. So, they even hesitate to chant Lord's name. They don't want to chant loudly. Of course, it is true, one should not make a display of one's deeper religious sentiments. It's true. We don't want to make a show. But there's a point. Though we say it is better they are lodged in the depths of their heart, but to let a foolish regard for so-called public opinion or social propriety tone down one's sincere and healthy desire to give vent to religious emotions is to harm oneself seriously in a vital and subtle fields of self-uplift. So, absolutely correct. Come and chant loudly. Forget yourself for the time being when you are worshipping, when you are doing bhajan, when you are offering worship. Don't hesitate to do it. So, some people who are devoid of any spiritual sense or religious aspiration, they ridicule people who are practicing spirituality. Should spiritual aspirants pay any heed to their prattle? Should you be afraid of their criticism? The worldly people, they talk all nonsense. That means, should you also become a foolish person like him? Or you should not care for them? Sri Ramakrishna gives the example, very nice example. He was talking to Narendranath. The conversation was about worldly people who look down on those who aspire to spiritual things. The master was talking about the great number of such people in the world and how to deal with them. And Sri Ramakrishna said, worldly people say all kinds of things about the spiritually minded. But look here. When an elephant moves along the street, any number of small animals may bark and cry after it, but the elephant doesn't even look back at them. If the people speak ill of you, what will you think of them? Narendranath, Vivekananda, he replied, I shall think that dogs are barking at me. Swami Vivekananda says in the Song of the Sannyasin, it's a beautiful song composed by Vivekananda himself at Thousand Island Park when he gave training to the American disciples. It's a famous composition. There he says, few only know the truth, the rest will hate and laugh at thee, great one, but pay no heed. So, you shouldn't have any hesitation, any kind of feeling of shame. If it comes to the point of thinking of God, doing His work, reading spiritual scriptures, why should you feel hesitation? So, if you are not hesitating to engage yourself in such activities, that means you have cut off the cord of lajja which was obstructing you. One fetter is gone. The next one is hatred. That's also dangerous fetter. Likes and dislikes are the cause of hatred. You want something, you won't get it, somebody got it, you become jealous and you entertain hatred. Somebody is more skillful than you, you begin to hate that person because he's more skillful to you. So, in so many ways, you are encouraging hatred if you are not aware of the spiritual aspect. If you are really following the spiritual path, you must never entertain hatred any moment. The feeling that generates hatred towards another thing, another being, is a diabolical twist of the lower mind and has nothing to justify it in any circumstance whatever. When a saint exhibits this quality in relation to a wicked person, how do you understand it? It doesn't mean that the saint is hating that person. He really hates the evil in that person, not the person in him. His hatred is only a sign of his passion for his redemption. Hate the sin and not the sinner. That should be practiced. Hate the sin and not the sinner. Be compassionate, sympathetic. Very often hatred springs from jealousy and from a mean inability to be happy over the other man's happiness. Hatred is quite the negation of a sense of life's unity and harmony. Hatred doesn't help the hater in any manner and is impotent to inflict any injury on the person hated. To take the famous example from Mahabharata, a great story. There the character Duryodhana, why he was ruined? He was totally ruined, not only himself, but all his followers. Simply because of his inordinate hatred towards the Pandavas. He lost the sense of right and wrong. If you study the life of Lord Buddha, he taught that hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. So hatred has been aptly termed the madness of the heart for one who is in its grip loses his sanity. That is the dangerous effect of harboring hatred. So a spiritual person must be fully aware of this poisonous attack of the hatred. That's the way to cut off this another fetter which is on the way to spiritual glory. I shall continue the rest of them in the next class. Page 672. To Bankim, Sri Ramakrishna said, some people think that God cannot be realized without the study of books and scriptures. They think that first of all one should learn of this world and its creatures. That first of all one should study science. I have read this. Master said, the mother knows what food suits the stomachs of her different children. Can all of them digest pilavu and kalia? Suppose a fish has been procured, the mother doesn't give pilavu and kalia to all the children. For the weak child with a poor stomach, she prepares simple soup. But does that mean she loves him the less? One must have faith in the Guru's words. The Guru is none other than Chidananda. God himself is the Guru. If you only believe his words like a child, you will realize God. What faith a child has when a child's mother says to him about a certain man, he is your brother. The child believes he really is his brother. The child believes it 125%, though he may be the son of a Brahmin and the man the son of a blacksmith. The mother says to the child, there is a bugaboo in that room. And the child really believes there is a bugaboo in the room. Such is the faith of a child. One must have this childlike faith in the Guru's words. God cannot be realized by a mind that is hypocritical, calculating, or argumentative. One must have faith and sincerity. Hypocrisy will not do. To the sincere, God is very near, but He is far, far away from the hypocrite. One must have for God the yearning of a child. The child sees nothing but confusion when his mother is away. You may try to cajole him by putting a sweetmeat in his hand, but he will not be fooled. He only says, "No, I want to go to my mother." One must feel such yearning for God. Oh, what yearning! How restless a child feels for his mother. Nothing can make him forget his mother. He to whom the enjoyment of worldly happiness appears tasteless, he who takes no delight in anything of the world, money, name, creature, comfort, sense pleasure, becomes sincerely grief-stricken for the vision of the mother, and to him alone the mother comes running, leaving all her other duties. Oh, that restlessness is the whole thing. Whatever path you follow, whether you are a Hindu, a Muslim, a Christian, a Shakta, a Vaishnava, or a Brahmo, the vital point is restlessness. God is our inner guide. It doesn't matter if you take a wrong path, only you must be restless for Him. He Himself will put you on the right path. Besides, there are errors in all paths. Everyone thinks his watch is right, but as a matter of fact, no watch is absolutely right. But that doesn't hamper one's work. If a man is restless for God, he gains the company of sadhus, and as far as possible corrects his own watch with the sadhus' help. Trilokya of the Brahma Samaj began to sing. Presently Sri Ramakrishna stood up and lost consciousness of the outer world. He became completely indrawn, absorbed in samadhi. The devotees stood around him in a circle. Pushing aside the crowd, Bankim came near the master and began to watch him attentively. He had never seen anyone in samadhi. After a few minutes, Sri Ramakrishna regained partial consciousness and began to dance in an ecstatic mood. It was a never-to-be-forgotten scene. Bankim and his anglicized friends looked at him in amazement. Was this the God-intoxicated state? The devotees also watched him with wondering eyes. The singing and dancing over, the master touched the ground with his forehead, saying, "Bhagavat, Bhakt, Bhagavan." Salutations to the Gyanis, Yogis and Bhaktas. Salutation to all. He sat down again and all sat around him. Bankim asked the question, "Sir, how can one develop divine love?" Sri Ramakrishna replied, "Through restlessness." The restlessness a child feels for his mother. The child feels bewildered when he is separated from his mother and weeps longing for her. If a man can weep like that for God, he can even see him. At the approach of the dawn, this eastern horizon becomes red. Then one knows it will soon be sunrise. Likewise, if you see a person restless for God, you can be pretty certain that he has not long to wait for his vision. A disciple asked his teacher, "Sir, please tell me how I can see God." "Come with me," said the Guru, "and I shall show you." He took the disciple to a lake, and both of them got into the water. Suddenly the teacher pressed the disciple's head under the water. After a few moments he released him, and this disciple raised his head and stood up. The Guru asked him, "How did you feel?" The disciple said, "Oh, I thought I should die. I was panting for breath." The teacher said, "When you feel like that for God, then you will know you haven't long to wait for his vision." Trivedi, master of three Vedas. So one should be aware of the truth. Don't get frightened. When you know you are in Maya, that shows you must get out of the Maya. That's all. Truth is simple. It is simple, so it is difficult to practice. Because it is simple. That's the way. All right, we shall stop. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of his bliss, tasting his nectar at every step, bathing in his name, that both were very souls. Various art thy names, O Lord. In each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Oh, how I long for the day when an instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous reign tranquility, May the tranquil be free from bonds. May the freed make others free. May good betide all people. May the sovereign righteously rule the earth. May all beings ever attain what is good. May the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time. May the earth be blessed with crops. May all countries be freed from calamity. May holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For He being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.